And so for people just joining us, we're going to potentially use a wall. So if you have a wall that you can lean up against nearby, or a door that you can put some weight against, that's going to be helpful. If not, I can show you options for that. And we're going to use some weights today for our practice. So we're going to get going here, and we're going to make our way over to our mats. And as I've been doing lately, I'm just going to suggest that you decide if you want to begin lying down, you can. And if you want to begin sitting up, you can. You can sit up in a chair, you can sit up on something, you can sit right on the floor. But go ahead and make your way to sitting. And as you're sitting or lying, if you're sitting, root your sitting bones down and sit up nice and tall. And if you're lying down, just feel your body relaxing into the floor and feel your feet on the floor. And if you want, you could close your eyes. And we're going to just take a little time to bring our awareness to what it feels like to be here now. In the space that you're in, take a little time to let your mind let go of all the details of what's going on in your day. And just draw your awareness into what it feels like to be in your body right now. What does it feel like to be sitting or lying down? What do you notice that you can hear? Maybe that you can smell? And that you feel. Just have a sensory experience of what it feels like to be here. And as you're bringing awareness to the feeling of your body, let's begin to notice what it feels like if we begin to deepen our breathing. So let's invite a fuller, deeper, more expansive breath in and down. And let's allow that breath to empty all the way out. So slow, long, full, deep breaths here now. Flowing in and emptying out. That's all we're going to do right now. That's all we're going to think about. That's all we're going to focus on. Just mindful focus on our breathing. We don't often give our exhalations the time to fully empty, but there's quite a bit of benefit in doing so. So let those next two exhalations really empty fully and completely. Before breathing that next breath in. And the next time your breath empties all the way out, just begin to transition to a more normal, regular breathing rhythm. Take a moment now and just recognize how you're feeling this morning in terms of your energy level, any injuries you might be nurturing, and then just honor how you're feeling emotionally today. And with that awareness of how you're feeling, just make a commitment to treat yourself appropriately with kindness and support and understanding for how you're feeling today. Maybe you're ready to really push yourself and work really hard and do everything we're doing in our practice this morning, or maybe you need a gentler day. So offer yourself what you need. And then when we're ready, we're gonna come down to lying down. You might already be there. And as you lie down, go ahead and hug your knees into chest. I'm just gonna get closer. Hug your knees into chest and kind of sway your knees side to side. And just give your low back a little massage. And then sway your knees to center. And then go ahead and release your feet to the floor. Let's lift our heads up and clasp our hands beneath our head, letting the weight of the head rest into the hands, elbows wide. We'll take a breath in. As we exhale, let's begin to knit the low ribs down into the belly. Let that action help us to begin to curl up head, neck, and shoulders. Lift up till your shoulder blades come off the floor ideally, and then inhale and release back. And again, exhale and curl up, knit your ribs, and then reach your arms forward, kind of up above your knees. And then we'll lower back down and breathe. Again, exhale, curl up and reach forward, maybe coming up a bit further. And then you can lower your head down. Now bring your fingertips together, and we're just going to curl up and reach more up toward the ceiling, and then lower back down. So we're going to curl up and reach up, and inhale back, and knit and curl up, and inhale back. So we're targeting the upper abdominals here. Each time we come up, we're knitting the ribs and curling up. And we'll do a few more like this to just get those upper abdominals activated here. Let's do 2 more like this. Exhaling as we come up and inhaling back. All right, and then let your head come down. Let's take our arms out at our side. And we're going to take our legs up in the air now. Go ahead and just flex and point a few times to loosen up the back of the legs. And then we're going to take the legs out wide into a straddle. I want you to flex your feet as you do that. And then bring your legs back up. And then we're going to reverse curl. So we're going to curl up. So we're going to uncurl and straddle, and then bring the legs together and reverse curl up. So open out and straddle, and then reverse curl up. And open out and straddle, come on up and reverse curl. Straddle, come up, reverse curl. So as you reverse curl, try not to push down with your arms. Try to just lift up from the strength of those deep lower abdominals, doing the work to lift the hips up off the floor. Yeah. Out and up and curl. You could flex your feet as you straddle and then point your toes as you curl. Flex and point. It's not a big deal, but you'll work the legs a little differently. So let's just do 4 more. Out and up, reverse curl. Out and up, reverse curl. Out and up and curl. And last one like this. Great. All right. We're going to bend the knees. You can place your feet on the floor. Let's again lift our heads up and clasp our hands beneath our head. Weight of the head in the hands. And then we're going to take our feet off the floor as well. So we're going to take a breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to curl up. Let's extend the right leg out, and we're going to twist across. And then we'll bring the knee in and lower down. Exhale, curl up, left leg extends, twist across, and then lower back down. So this is kind of considered a bicycle crunch. We come up and the leg that we extend, that arm comes across. And this is kind of how we traditionally do our bicycle crunch. So after you extend the leg the next time, we're going to do it a little differently. I want you to curl up and extend both your legs out and then twist across and then come back down. So curl up, extend both legs and twist across and come back down. Curl up, extend both legs and twist across, come back down. So it's just a little different. When you twist across, we often think about elbow to knee. I want you to think about taking that rib, the lower ribs, towards the opposite thigh. So you're twisting through your midsection, not just pulling your arm across. So we'll just do a few more of these. Coming up, twisting across. Coming up, twisting across. So trying not to pull on the head as much as you're twisting from your midsection. We'll just do two more. And last one. Nice. All right, release your head, release your feet. Let's roll to our side. And as we come onto our side, let's bring our forearm, our elbow, right beneath the shoulder. And if we're sinking down, we're going to kind of push down. So there's some space here from your shoulder to your ear. Knees are stacked. We'll put our top hand on our hip. And we're just going to lift up into a modified side plank here. So the hips are off the floor. So we can lower all the way down, or we can just lower close to the floor and then lift back up. So we're just going to do that down and up motion. And one option is to have our hand on our hip. The other option is, as you come up, we could take an arm overhead. And then as we lower down, that arm comes down. So we can come up and reach and then lower back down. Come up and reach and then lower back down. So the breathing would be inhale as we go overhead, exhale as we lower. We'll do a few more of these. So we're putting weight into the muscles of the shoulder, and we're working that bottom side waist. We're bringing some range of motion into that upper arm. Let's just do a couple more. Breathing in as we go overhead, breathing out as we lower. Last one, let's just stay here and just see if you can lift a little higher. Nice work. And then come on down. Great. Swing your legs out in front and then swing over to the other side. And again, get that elbow right beneath your shoulder. If you're down here, push up. We can start with hand on hip, knees stacked, and we'll just lift the hips up off the floor. And we lower down. Maybe you touch, maybe you just come close to the floor. And lift up and lower down. If we like, we can reach overhead and then lower down. Breathing in as we reach over. Breathing out as we lower down. Inhale and reach. Exhale and lower. Keep going here. Use your breath. Feel that bottom side waist lifting up. Engaging to lift. We'll do just a few more here. Reach and lower. Reach and lower. Reach. This next one, we're going to reach up. We're going to hold up there and maybe lift even a little higher. Great. And then lower down. Nice work. Let's transition to all fours. So we're here on all fours, wrists right beneath shoulders, knees under hips, spine nice and long. Let's take a breath in. Exhale and just round into cat pose. Just feel your spine getting a little more space. Maybe take your hips back a little bit. And then come forward to your flat back. As we inhale, let's arch the back. Lift the tail, drop the belly, draw the heart forward, extend through your spine, and then come to your flat back. So you can keep doing cat-cow, or we're going to do a little hovering table. So we'll curl our toes under and lift the knees up. And then if you want to work a little harder, we're going to walk our feet in towards our hands and then step our feet back into more of a plank. So we can walk our feet in and step back. and walk our feet in and step back. So if you're always stepping up with one foot, step up with the other foot and step back. So alternate. Maybe right foot steps up, right foot steps back, and then left foot steps up, left foot steps back. If we can stay nice and low, we're going to work the core a bit more. And of course, we're working the arms here for support. Let's just do a few more of these. Up and back and up. You could also just be hovering and dropping your knees back down. Yeah. Last one. Nice work. All right, let's come back onto knees and we're going to sit back into child's pose. Sit back on your heels, let your forehead come down. Maybe it rests on the floor, maybe it rests on your two arms. Take a moment here to breathe deeply, connect with your breath, notice how you're feeling. Maybe there's something you'd like to breathe into your practice this morning, something you'd like to cultivate or just offer yourself. Breathe it in. Let your breath empty and release here. One more time. Deep breath in and out. And then let's lift our heads up and reach our arms way out in front. Kind of walk them forward. And then walk, let's say you walk the right hand even more forward, up towards the middle front of your mat. And then take your hips to the right and back of it. Look under that right arm. Get a big breath, big stretch into that right side. And let the breath go. Slide that hand in, slide your left hand up towards the middle front of your mat. Then take your hips over to the left and back. Look under that left arm and take a big breath into that side. And let the breath empty. And then slide it back. Nice work. Separate your arms, your hands, and make your way to downward facing dog. When we come into down dog, we really want to ground through the whole hand. Spread the weight into the thumbs, the index finger, the whole fingers, the knuckles. Once we've established that foundation, press down, broaden between your shoulder blades. Take your hips up and back. Take a breath. Let's bend a knee and press a heel down. And then bend that knee and press the other heel down. You could be looking at those feet, sending those heels straight back here as you bend and press a heel down. And then let's go ahead and bend both knees and see if we can draw the hips further up and back, lengthen the spine, take a deep breath in and a big sigh out. Do that again, deep breath in, big release of breath. Great. And then walk your hands back towards your feet, lower your heels down, ending up folded over. Ragdoll, just loose and floppy in your head and your arms. You might shake your head a little bit, free up the base of your skull. And then take a big breath into your upper back. Let that breath release. Draw your belly in and begin to roll yourself up. Just inviting your spine to unfurl and stack. Feel your feet planted as you start to come more upright. As you ground down, reach your arms out and inhale your arms up and overhead. Maybe lift your heart a little bit and then let your arms release down at your sides. Great. Okay, let's pick up some weights. They could be your heavier weights here, I think. And we're gonna stand in sort of a squat position. So feet maybe about hip distance or a little wider, toes a little bit turned out perhaps. And then we're gonna bend the knees, bend the hips, lower down into a squat, making sure knees and toes are tracking. Push down to straighten. We're gonna curl up and then we're gonna press up as we lift the heels. And then we're gonna lower the heels, bring the arms down, sit into our squat, lower our arms, come up, curl, and press up. We're gonna come back down and we're gonna come up. Yeah, just waking up the muscles in the feet, in the ankles, in the legs, in the shoulders. Just a nice way to get going here. Press up. We want to work with the breath. We can breathe in as we press up. And exhale as we lower. Inhale and exhale. Let's do a few more of these. Yeah. Nice. Maybe 4 more. Keeping those ankles strong is going to be good for balance, mobility. Great. Nice work. All right. We can set our weights down for now. We're going to make our way to the front of our mats. We're going to get ready to flow a little bit here. So let's start in mountain pose, grounding down through the feet to stand nice and tall. Thinking about just your nice, elegant posture. And as you root down now, begin to take your arms out and then inhale them up. And exhale and swan dive forward. Knees can soften as we fold over. We can bring hands up onto shins and inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head. And exhale and fold forward again. We'll bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Again, planting the hands and drawing the hips up and back as we breathe in. And then exhaling to straight arm plank. Feel the strength across your upper back here now as you push your hands down. Press back through your heels, lengthen through your crown. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you could drop to your knees if you like. We're going to bend the elbows a bit without letting the hips sink down here. We'll take one more breath. And then let's go ahead and let the knees come down and we'll lower our chest into the floor, coming into our prone mountain. We can slide the heels of the hands back as we lengthen through the crown and inhale up to baby cobra. Then we'll exhale back down. Let's do that again. Inhale up to baby cobra. We're going to lift our hands a little bit off the floor. And then could you lift your elbows and hug them in towards the midline? And then release the hands, release the chest. This time we'll keep our hands down. We'll inhale up to baby cobra. We could stay here or maybe come up a bit higher into cobra. And then we'll lower back down. Let's push up to knees, curl the toes under and lift the knees and lift the hips up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Then let's walk our hands back towards our feet again, lowering our heels down. We're going to bend the knees and lower the hips, sweep the arms forward, and sit back in our low chair. Let's take the arms up by the ears and take a breath in and out. And then push down to inhale and rise up and reach up. And then exhale and swan dive forward. Walk your hands out into your plank position. Take a breath here. Exhale, little bend in the elbows. Take another breath here. Exhale and lower all the way down onto the floor. Let's bring our forearms underneath us now. So elbows right beneath shoulders. And then we're going to slice the forearms down into the floor to lift the chest. We have options. We can come up onto our knees in a kneeling forearm plank, or we can lift the knees and be in a full forearm plank. And we can just hold this plank, or we could try stirring the pot, taking the hips over to the side, up and around and down, stirring the hips up and around and back to center, stirring up and around. We're going to circle in this direction one more time, and then we'll circle the other way. You could do this on your knees. You don't have to do the circle. You could just be holding. You could be dropping one knee down at a time. Let's circle in this direction one more time. And then just hold for a breath. Great. And then lower the knees and lower all the way down. Let's let the chest come down, let the arms go wide, let the head rest on the hands. Take a moment here to let everything relax. head, neck, shoulders, low back. And take a breath in and out. Great. All right. So we're going to do some work with the legs as we're lying here. Our head can stay on our hands. I want you to feel what it feels like if you press the front of your hips into the mat. Press the front of your pelvis, your pubic bone, into the floor. And do you notice how that creates some length in your low back, which is what we want here. We're going to work with the hamstrings and the glutes, and we want the low back not to be overextended. So as you press the front of the hips down now, I want you to bend one knee and flex your foot, and then lift that leg up off the floor. So you're really activating that hamstring, and you're still pressing down with the front of the hip, and then you're going to extend that leg back, pointing the toe. Do that again. The leg is still lifted. Bend the knee and flex the foot, and then point the toe back as you extend the leg back. One more time. Bend the knee, flex the foot. The thigh is still lifted, and then point the toe back. Take a breath here, and then relax that leg down. And take a break from pressing the front of your hips down. And then, again, press the front of your hips down. Take the other leg, bend the knee, flex the foot, and then lift it up. With that leg lifted, point the toe, extend the leg back. Flex the foot and bend the knee up. Point the toe, extend the leg back. Flex the foot and bend the knee. Again, point. Your leg is lifted the whole time. Flex. This time, point it back and hold it up there for a breath. And then release it down. All right, we're going to give the legs a break for a moment. I want you to take your arms out wide like a V. And I want you to kind of slide your upper arm bones into your shoulder sockets so your hands slide in closer. And then pull your heart forward. So it's just a classic cobra here. Pulling in as you pull your heart forward and then lower down. And then can you inhale up into a baby cobra and then lift your arms up? Yeah, your arms are out in a V. So it's a little more work. You're lifting your chest, but you also have to bring the weight of your arms. And then lower your arms down. All right, we're going to let our head rest in our hands again. We're going to do what we were doing with our legs, but we're going to do it with both legs. So I want you to press the front of your hips down and then bend both knees with flexed feet and lift the thighs up off the floor. And then point the toes and extend the legs back. Flex the feet and bend the knees. Point the toes, extend the legs back. Flex the feet and bend the knees. One more time. Point the toes, extend back. Flex and bend. This time, point, extend back and hold. And then release down. Nice job. Okay, bring hands next to chest. Let's push all the way back to child's pose. Take your hips all the way back. Sit back on your heels. Forehead comes to the floor on your bent arms. Take a few deep breaths here. Check in. Let the breath flow in and out. If you would like to move your hips a little side to side, you're welcome to do that. When you're ready, lift your head up, reach your arms out. Let's transition to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. We're going to again walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down. Again, bend the knees and lower the hips. Sweep the arms forward. Sit back in your low chair. Let's bring our hands to heart here. So think about your spine nice and long. Take a breath in. As you exhale, just twist to one side. Doesn't matter which side. Hands could stay to heart or elbow could go to the outside of the knee. Take a breath in your twist, which is a little challenging, and then unwind back to center. Spine long, take a breath in. Exhale and twist the other way. Hands could stay to heart or elbow to the outside of the knee. Breathe in and out here. Try to keep your knees parallel. Then unwind yourself. Reach your arms forward and then reach them up and overhead. Breathe in and out here. Push down to rise up. Inhale and reach up. And exhale, arms down to your side. Nice job. Okay, we're going to pick up our weights. And you can stand kind of at the front of your mat, like the long way, like I'm doing here. Feet hip distance apart. And we're going to take a big step back with one foot into a lunge. So when we're in a lunge, our feet are hip distance. They're not wider. They're not narrower, right? They're hip distance. And that back heel is up, pointing straight back. So we're going to do a basic lunge, just bending both knees. But what I want you to do is to take these heavy weights in your hands and reach overhead. And then we're just gonna lunge down and up. So you might kind of automatically kind of engage your core here. But let's make sure to put a little tone in the low belly here to support the low back. And what we find is if we do this with our arms overhead, there's just much more engagement. And I mean, the shoulders are working to hold the arms overhead, but the core is working. It's just gonna fire a bit more than if our arms were down. So let's do 4 more here. Bending and straightening, and bending and straightening, bending and straightening. Last one. Great. Bring your arms down, all the way down at your side. Now we're going to bend the front knee forward, and I want you to lean forward. So there's a line of the leg and the spine. And then take your arms straight back. Can you get them lifted higher than your hips? So the arms lift up nice and high behind. Can you keep your elbows where they are and just bend in? And then extend straight back. Bend in and extend straight back. So the elbows don't lower down. The upper arm's not really moving from your shoulder to your elbow. You're just hinging the lower arm. It bends in and it extends back. And it bends in and it extends back. And bends in and extends back. Bends in and back. This last time your arms go back, just hold it back there. And maybe lift it a little higher. Good, and then lower it down. Great. Step your back foot in, straighten up. We'll just do that whole thing on the other side. So feet hip distance apart. Take a big step back with your other foot. Feet still hip distance, that heel is lifted, going straight back. And we're just gonna do that lunge, bending both knees, but we're gonna take the arms up and overhead. So a little tone in the belly here, and then just bend and push up. You can really ground through that front foot. Feel it planted as you bend, push it down to straighten. Down and up. Down and up. Down. Sometimes we would be lowering the arms and pressing them up, but sometimes that momentum makes it a little easier actually. Just holding them makes it a little harder. Let's do 2 more. Nice work. Okay, bring your arms down. Again, bend into the front knee, lean forward. Your arms can start down and then take them straight back, a little higher than your hips. Keep the elbows where they are, hinge in and press back. And hinge in and press back. And hinge in and press back. Ideally, you're feeling your triceps, the back of your upper arms, really working as you extend those arms back. Bend, press back. Keep the elbows high and press the arm back. Just 4 more. And in and press back. In, press back. This next time you press back, hold it back there. Maybe lift it a little bit higher Good, lower it down. Step that back foot in. Good work. Okay, let's put them down. Yeah. Let's take a wide stance. We'll give the arms a little break. We'll turn the back foot in, turn the front foot out, hands on hips. We're just going to bend and straighten the front knee a few times. Get that front foot really planted. And then next time the knee is bent, pause there. We're going to lift that front heel up just a little bit off the floor and feel the energy of the heel pulling back towards your midline. It's as if you're pulling that heel back. You should feel some engagement in the leg and maybe some work in the pelvic floor. Take a breath here and then relax that heel down. Let's go ahead and tip the hips over now and bring this bottom arm on this leg. We'll take the other arm forward and let's just open it up toward the ceiling. Create some space from this bottom shoulder to this ear. Reach up. Take a breath. As you exhale, release your gaze to look down at your front foot. Notice where your gaze is. Place your bottom hand on your shin. And then keeping your gaze right where it is, work to straighten your front leg. Don't let your head pull back till you're in triangle pose here. And then you could turn your gaze back forward. You could open your palms out if you like. We're going to breathe in and out here. Feel the grounding in that back foot. And then reach up, ground down, and rise up. Nice job. Let's go the other way. Turn the feet forward. And then turn this back foot in. Turn your other foot out. And then we're just going to bend and straighten. Just find your optimal width between your feet. And then once your knee is bent, this time, let's again lift the heel just a teeny bit. Feel like we're pulling that heel back. That energy of the heel is pulling back. Take a breath. And let that heel lower down. And we're going to tip the hips over. Forearm on the thigh. Other arm can reach forward. And then let's open up. Space from this bottom shoulder to this bottom ear here. Take a breath. Let's take our gaze and look down towards the front foot. Keep your gaze right where it is. Take that bottom hand, place it on your shin. Can you start to straighten that front leg without letting your head draw back? Then once the leg is more or less straight, you can turn again towards your device. Let's breathe in and out here. Feel the grounding in the back foot. Press down and reach up. Great. Bring your feet forward. We're going to walk our feet together, or you could just jump your feet in. Great. Okay. So here is where we're going to use the wall, potentially. The wall is going to be optional. We're going to work on shoulder strength here. And we're just going to kind of work towards, if you ever wanted to work towards a handstand, this would be, a prep for something like that. So if you have a wall nearby, I want you to kind of put your foot up on the wall. So that's how far away I want you to be from the wall, a foot distance from the wall. And then turn around when you're at that point. So your bum is to the wall. All right, so we're going to start with a walkout. So we can start with our arms up, and then we're going to fold forward, and we're just going to walk out into a plank position, and then we can do a push-up. You might just do a little push-up. You might come all the way down and come up, any sort of push-up, and then we're going to walk back. And then we're going to come up to stand. So that's one option, is to just walk out and walk back up. If you want to try using the wall, you can come down, and then we're going to put one foot on the wall, and we're going to put another foot on the wall. And then you can put a foot down and put another foot down. And then you could walk out into a push-up. You could do a little push-up. You go to the floor and back, and you can walk back. So So you might just be coming back up to stand here. You might put one foot on the wall and another foot on the wall, and then bring a foot down and bring a foot down. And you might walk out into a push-up. You might do a push-up and then walk back. If you're putting your feet up on the wall, don't always put the same foot up. Start maybe putting the other foot up first and then coming down with the other foot. And you could just do that over and over again rather than the walk out and the walk back. You could just be stepping up and stepping down. If you're doing the stepping up and stepping down, if you like, you could step up and then walk your feet down so your legs are parallel to the floor, and hold a half handstand here. We'll take a breath. Let it go. If you're walking out and down, whatever we're doing, let's transition to child's pose. Take a moment here and breathe in and out. Great. All right. Go ahead and we're going to do one more thing that's a little bit fun, a little bit challenging. And you're going to need quite a bit of room for this one. So move your weights aside. And ideally you have quite a bit of room on the sides of your mat so that you can lay down. And you might want to watch this first before you lay down so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to lay down in the middle of my mat, and ideally there's room for your arms overhead. So I'm actually going to have to go this way. And so we're going to take our arms overhead and we're going to roll to one side. So you're on your side, and then can you lift your legs and lift your arms? So you're working your sideways. You're going to make a banana shape. And then we're going to roll onto belly, and we're going to do like Superman. Reach the arms out, reach the legs out. Good. Then we're going to roll back to that side. Again, lift up into that banana shape. And then we're going to roll onto our back and lift up into banana shape. And so we're going to roll now the other way to the side, lift the arms, lift the legs, and then roll onto belly. It's a banana shape, but this is like that Superman, you know, so we call this Superman banana. We're going to roll back and we're going to lift both arms and legs. We're going to roll onto the back, lift arms and legs. Roll onto the side, lift arms and legs. Roll onto the belly, Superman. Roll back. Ideally, you can roll back without using your arms. And then roll onto your back, Superman. Roll onto the side, banana. Roll onto your belly, Superman. Roll back, banana. Roll back, banana. Let's take a break and hug in. And then we're going to do the whole thing again, because maybe you were not clear on what we were doing. Now, hopefully we're all clear. So let's try it. We're going to extend out, arms overhead, legs out, lift up, banana shape. I'm going to start going the other way this time. Roll to one side, lift up into your banana shape. Roll onto your belly, reach out, lift up into Superman. Roll back onto your side, lift up into banana shape. Roll onto your back, lift your arms and your legs, banana shape. Roll the other way, lift up, banana shape. Roll onto your belly, reach out and up, Superman. Good job. Roll back, almost there, banana shape. Roll onto your back, banana shape. Release your head and hug your knees in. You did it. Nice job. Breathe in and out. Good work. And then release down. Okay, roll to your side and push yourself up. We are going to use the wall again. I'd like you, now you could do this, if you don't have a wall nearby, you could put your legs up on a chair if you don't have a wall or a door that you can be up against. If you have a wall that you can be up against, go and sit sideways to the wall, get your hips up against the wall, lower onto your back, and bring your legs up on the wall. So you end up with your bum close to the wall, not right up against it. Separate your heels about as wide as your hips. We're going to push our heels into the wall. So that's going to get the hamstrings to engage. And imagine that you're clawing your heels down so that there's really a lot of activation in the backs of the thighs. And then don't look at your computer now. We're going to lift up like into a bridge pose. So keep your head looking at the ceiling and start to lift your hips up, just like you're lifting up into bridge pose. Bring your weight up onto your shoulders. Take a breath at the top. And then lower yourself very slowly, gradually, incrementally. Nice strong legs, providing that support so you can lower your spine very incrementally here. A nice chance to work on spinal mobility. Vertebra by vertebra by vertebra, lowering down really one vertebra at a time. Those strong legs providing that support all the way from your mid-back, all the way into your lower back, vertebra by vertebra by vertebra, until you eventually lower all the way down. Go at your own pace. Once you've come all the way down, you can let your legs relax for a moment and breathe in and out. We're going to continue doing that. You can go at your own pace. Look up at the ceiling. Don't turn your gaze. Press your heels into the wall. Claw your heels down. Really activate those hamstrings. Let them provide the work to lift the weight up onto your shoulders. Take a breath at the top. And again, another chance to create a little more mobility in the spine. Feel one vertebra releasing at a time. That ability to move the spine individually rather than parts of it being stuck together is really important. So this is a way to kind of work on that. So take your time to lower down. And you're going at your own pace. So you might be going quicker than me, slower than me. You can continue to roll up and down. If you'd like to use the wall to lift up into shoulder stand, you could. Bring the weight up onto your shoulders, bring your hands onto your low back, and then take one leg and then the other leg off the wall. If you're not sure about shoulder stand, one of the keys is to have your elbows in close. Your elbows need to be in line with your shoulders, not wider than that. And your hands need to be up higher than your waist. If your hands are down on your bum, you're not going to be able to provide that support. The legs are angled back. You could be rolling up and rolling down. You could be hanging out in shoulder stand. Try not to turn your head, whichever one you're doing. Keep breathing here. And if you're in shoulder stand and you're going to roll down, you can bring your feet to the wall and roll down. You could bring your knees to your nose and roll down. You could reach your toes overhead into cloud pose, and you could roll down out of that. So whatever you choose, articulate that spine as you lower out of whatever you are doing. And end up with your legs up the wall. Take a moment here with your legs relaxed to just take a deep breath in and out. And then we're going to bend our knees, put our feet on the wall, and push our hips away. So we give ourselves some room. And then we're going to roll to our sides and push ourselves up. Okay. So we're going to make our way down onto our backs. And if you're chilly and you want to put your socks on or something, you could do so now. We're going to lie down. We're going to just do a couple of things before our final relaxation. So if you have a pillow or a blanket or something to cushion your head, I'd like you to do so as you lie back. We're going to do a little neck release. After shoulder stand, it's nice to do a little neck release. So if we can have a little cushion under the head, it's going to be ideal. So kind of snug something up against your shoulders. Have your feet on the floor. And we're just going to activate the muscles in the neck by As we breathe in, I want you to press the center of the back of your head down into that cushion. So it's the neck muscles that are going to work to press the head down. And then we're just going to, excuse me, exhale and release that pressure. We're going to breathe in and press the back of the head into the floor or the blanket or pillow, and exhale and release that pressure. 2 more times. Press down as you breathe in. You don't have to press with all your might, just some firm pressure, and then release on your exhale. And then 1 more time like that, pressing down and then releasing. Yeah, nice work. You could leave the blanket there or pillow. You could get rid of it now. Let's hug one knee into chest and extend the other leg out on the floor. You can kind of bounce that straight leg, let it be nice and heavy on the floor, and then really hug the other knee in close. Take that knee and open it out to the side with your in-breath. Exhale and hug that knee back in. Bring that knee across your midline and hug it up towards your opposite shoulder. Breathe into that outer hip. Let your breath go. Bring that leg in line with its own hip and lift it up in the air. Grab behind the thigh. Press the leg into your hands. Flex your foot up. Pull your toes towards you. Stretch your toes up and then squeeze the toes at the top, working the foot muscles. And then just wiggle that out. Let's change legs. We're going to bend the knee and place the foot on the floor and grab onto the other knee. And then straighten that other leg out. Maybe bounce it a few times. Let it be loose and heavy on the floor as you hug the other knee in. Take that knee and just open it out to the side as you breathe in. Bring the knee back. Grab it with both hands. Hug it in towards your midline and then over towards the opposite shoulder. And breathe into that outer hip. Let the breath go. Bring that knee in line with its own hip and lift the leg up. Grab behind the thigh, press into the hands. Reach your heel up, pull your toes towards you. Stretch your toes up to the ceiling and then squeeze the toes. Work the muscles of the feet, stretch the top of the foot, and then shake it off. Great, okay. We're gonna release that foot down and we're gonna start to transition to our final relaxation. So if it's chilly where you are, you might want to put on your socks or cover up with a blanket. You might want to have something under your knees or under your head. Take a few moments to get warm and comfortable. And then begin to settle into the floor. It might be tempting to skip this part of the practice, especially when you're in your own home, your own space. But I always encourage people to stick around. This is the part of the practice where we reap a lot of the benefits of the practice. Because ideally, for resilience, our muscles can engage and respond when we need them. But then to be healthy, they need to be able to also release and relax. Muscles that are held in tension all the time become weak and brittle. So a muscle that can go into full relaxation is going to benefit. So we worked a lot of muscles and now we're going to let them move into that relaxation spot. And what we find is that when we relax the body, it allows the mind a chance to relax a little deeper. So feel your body relaxing. Let your feet relax, your ankles. Feel the muscles in the calves relaxing off of the bones, the shins relaxing. Let the backs of the knees relax, the backs of the thighs. Just feel all the muscles of your legs releasing into the floor. Let the muscles in your hips and your seat relax. Let your belly soften, your gut unclench. Allow your shoulders and arms and hands to rest heavy on the floor. Allow your palms to soften. Feel the weight of your head releasing back. And let all your facial muscles soften and smooth and release. The jaw relaxes. The eyes soften. The forehead easy, relaxed. Let your mind be like your body, just resting here now. Just let yourself be as you are. When we allow ourselves to rest, open and free, it gives us an opportunity to connect with our deeper self. Not the side of ourselves that we put on to show to the world, but our inner self, our inner light. The person we are when we're just being ourselves. This is our chance to connect with that, to appreciate that inner light, that inner spark that illuminates us from within. So you might want to stay a little longer if you're ready to come out. You can open your eyes, you can bring your feet to the floor. You might roll to your side, take a little time to transition. And then when you're ready, you can make your way up to sitting. Close out our practice with just a moment or two of quiet reflection here. Prayer, gratitude, whatever calls you this morning. So that light within us, it's in each of us. That's the spirit of namaste. So namaste, friends. And thanks for being here.